All right, if we could stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, everybody, welcome. Kathy, can you do a roll call, please?
You got it. Saban. Bartleson.
Here.
Lobes.
Here.
Bergbauer.
Here.
Pelogli is absent. Schreiber.
Here.
Karas.
Here.
And Kostecki.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, Pastor Bill's in the house.
Hey, everybody. If you would pray with me. Dear God, I pray this prayer of blessing on each person here. I arise today through God's strength to pilot me, God's might to uphold me, God's wisdom to guide me, God's eye to look before me, God's ear to hear me, God's word to speak for me, God's hand to guard me, God's way to lie before me, God's shield to protect me, and God's Son to save me. Lord, I pray this blessing also. The Lord bless and keep each one of you. May the Lord's face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. Amen.
Thanks, Bill. All right, my friends, anybody have any liaison reports?
I have one for finance. Just wanted to bring up, I think it's on the agenda today, talking about Tangle Roots function, or one of the functions. And we were supposed to meet as a group. We never got around to getting that done. So I've also had a change of heart regarding that.
Okay.
And I think what I want to propose is that we go this whole year with all the events with no fees, provided we get a profit and loss statement from them so that we can see collectively through all the events through this first year using Chevron to make a decision and determination for next year as to what an appropriate fee might be. So I hope that
I think that's wisdom. I was actually going to recommend at least this first event, but there's a couple going on.
Right, we've got a few more. So I think we go through the whole, gambit of those events without any charge, as long as they're providing. I think, Ben, some of them are providing police reimbursement or public works or whatever.
Right.
That still sticks, and I'm assuming in part of their P&L that they'll also give us the beverage receipts and sales tax.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's wisdom, Larry. Let's get data to work off of, so that's
Yeah.
good. Okay.
So that's what I would propose.
Yeah, that's right, because they're having a little village, a little sales village, or a little.
Yeah, so there should
Not
be
a Chris
sales
Kindle
tax.
market, Yeah,
Yeah,
Chris Kindle's, yeah, okay.
so, yeah.
All right, I like it.
Okay.
Anybody
Thank
else
you.
got anything?
I'm just going to go over some community events.
Yeah, please.
September 3rd is the duck auction at 6 p.m. And then that same day is, same night is Friday Nights in the Park.
Now, they'll be doing the music here at City Hall. They're going to combine them. So it won't be in the park. It'll all be here at City Hall.
All right.
Okay.
The third event is Military History Weekend, September 11th and 12th. And then Silver Cross Foundation fundraiser, September 16th. Spooky Night Out, September 18th, run by the Women's Club. And the Sweets and Savory Crawl is September 19th. We are sold out of tickets. We don't have any more. Our cap was 500. We met it yesterday, I think, or today. Yeah.
That's great.
So, and then Oktoberfest, which we just talked about, is the 24th through the 26th. And that's it for September, but boy, is that a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot going on. That's awesome. I think opening bid for a duck is $250. So they're
What
pretty
the-
cool.
What, the duck?
I know. I want to put one on the porch. Or I can add another thing to my office. So. Yes, it's koi pond. All right, very cool. Thank you, Christine.
I'm sorry, what's the 16th?
The 16th, oh, I'm sorry, I had it. Oh, that's the Silver Cross Foundation fundraiser.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
All right, anybody else got anything?
Yeah, the police liaison report. There's been some new graphic design work today completed on 4 squads. Sergeant Randy Smirkowski was selected as patrol commander. They are waiting on 2 names to come back from the police commissioners for sergeant promotions. And the Lockport Honor Guard will participate in the 9/11 ceremony at the American Legion. And that's all I have for you.
Thank you. All right. I got one thing. So last night, we went over to a workshop meeting at Homer Glen. They were having a meeting with the Highway Department, Township, Homer Township. So just trying to iron out a new IGA. We were able to participate in it, which is good because normally Lockport has never participated in the IGAs, but this one's important because, you know, this is going to have to do with the compensation for assets and, you know, where the new levy's going. So we were able to be part of that. We workshopped a lot of different ideas, and they'll be sending, their lawyer will send that over to Ben and Sonny so we can all review it, and I think we'll iron something out. So I think it was a productive meeting yesterday, so that was good. We'll keep moving forward on that. So yeah, just want to give you an update. All right, if there's nothing else, then we'll move along. All right, so first thing on here is, Ben, you got
Yes.
IDOT Section 130 grant?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. CA1 is a resolution number 21098. This would be a three-party agreement with the city, IDOT, and CN Railroad to work on our quiet zone, continue to do some improvements here. 8th Street Crossing is over by the Gaylord Building and the public landing. They're proposing the basically pedestrian gates there. There's already lights there, but there's no gate system and some additional guardrail. The good news is the project will be covered basically 100% by other items. There's a drawing there, thank you, we'll move that along. The cost sharing is 90% federal dollars, 10% from the railroad, and 0 from the local municipality, other than we'll spend a few bucks on our sign shop to do some additional signage there. But we did share this with the Gaylord Building. We also worked out the design with CN, IDOT, and ICC. So this is something we're looking for concurrence on. The construction will be next spring or summer. It'll put that crossing out of business for about a week. But this has happened before when the CN, if you recall, redid the platform work maybe about 2 years ago. Patrons can park at the Commerce lot and walk across the public landing itself and still get to the restaurant and or over on Canal Road. So I'm open for any questions, but this is one of the new things that we're trying to do. We have 11 crossings here, and the more safety improvements we can put in place, the more points we can get towards a quiet zone status on our rail lines. And the fact that the federal government's helping us do this is great. So.
Right on. Thank you, Ben. Any questions? Are we good with an action item then?
You mean consent?
You can do consent.
Or,
if you
I'm
want.
sorry,
Yeah.
consent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, AT1, what do you got, Sonny?
Yes, Mayor, members of the City Council, as you recall, back in February 2019, pre-COVID, that there was an economic incentive agreement that the City Council approved with FCAR, which would put a Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram dealership in the site in Lockport Square development. Now, the original agreement entailed the 50-50 sharing of the taxes from the sale of automobiles, including new and used, and also taxes from the auto parts for 25 years or until the cap of $8.95 million is reached, whichever occurs first. The original agreement called for the dealership to open up by July 31, 2022. Although the owner, FCAR, acquired the property and had the agreement, they didn't acquire it until December 20th, 2019, again, pre-COVID. And they actually submitted their plans and everything else for review, but at this time they're asking for the extension of the opening of the business date to be, they're requesting December 31, 2023. Staff has looked at it and we're recommending the extension to July 31, 2023, so which would be a year extension. We believe that that's reasonable in light of other developments occurring without any substantial delay. And again, they submitted their plans for approval, so it's merely getting the approval and then going out for bid and all that stuff. And so it's not an unreasonable extension to July 31, 2023, so we are recommending that be the extended deadline for the opening of the business. They could always open up before then. So if there's any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them, but we're requesting this item to be set on consent if the consensus of the City Council is okay with July 31, 2023, or if there should be another deadline.
What's restricting them from asking for a second amendment to go beyond 2023 if the current agreement states if you're not open by July 2022, you're going to have a penalty? So the amendment is basically saying, we're going to forgive your penalties until July of 2023, but they originally wanted December of 2023.
Yep. There's no, I mean, parties could always agree to extend anything,
Right.
unless, of course, you put in the agreement that there would be no further extension, period, and then that way you leave it and you leave that door closed. But again, with any agreement, it's up to the City Council whether or not you want to open up the agreement and extend that deadline.
With the current agreement, are we looking for specific type of construction in order to indicate that they're actually going through with?
They have complied with all the other terms, including submitting their plan by the time period that's in the agreement. The only thing is the opening date is that if they do not open up, currently at July 31, 2022, they will incur $10,000 per month penalty up to the cap of $100,000. So it's moving, it's moving the goal line further down.
Yeah, I mean, you put it eloquently. I mean, basically, they're avoiding the penalties by asking for a one-year extension. They're kind of blaming the market and COVID and everything that's happened in the last year or so. I mean, the good news is they have filed for their information. We're working with them. They're actually hoping to possibly start yet this fall, but the realization is, even if they did, they may not be able to be open by this deadline. So they actually asked for a deadline later than this, but we kind of talked to them a little bit. We thought a one-year extension was a reasonable request. Nothing would prohibit them from asking for another amendment if we actually saw buildings going on and we realized that, gosh, they're just not going to make it by 30 days. I think it's a reasonable ask to do it again at that point. So we didn't want to take it out till the end of 2023. We've encouraged them to get started. Everything seems to be lined up, but when you're looking at an international marketplace, when you can't get chips for cars, and it's a very large investment for them to get this opening. They're putting some changes into their drawings about more sustainability things, car chargers, new ways to fix electric cars. So some of that's been exciting on some of the changes. But there's just a lot going in the car marketplace right now, and they just felt like if they get started and there's a hang-up, they don't want to lose out or be penalized because of market conditions. They're saying another year would allow them to proceed with confidence. We thought it was a reasonable ask, but again, it's up to the council.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, considering what happened this past year, I understand. I'm fine with it. Any objections?
For some of the construction prices to come down. I mean, right now, they're at an all-time high.
They have rebid it several
brutal.
times already, yeah, and they're
Yeah.
trying to tweak it.
All right, so we do a consent then? Okay.
Thank you.
All right, next is PW1.
Right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. A couple items on the agenda this evening. The first one is an item that we talked about last meeting. This is for a 50-50 cost-sharing agreement between the City of Lockport and Lockport Township Park District. This is for the I&M Canal Bike Trail extension that we discussed from 6th Street to 2nd Street, and then it actually will trail up behind the old Sloan building on some existing asphalt and meet up with the public landing, essentially. So nice little project. It will connect a nice area that has been it's a little bit hard to get from one point to another right now safely, and this will improve that significantly. Our hope is to get this done this year. We have the project actually out to bid right now, hoping for positive numbers. This agreement that we have before us, this will split the cost 50-50 We do have a little bit of a caveat in there. We are looking for some additional resurfacing right behind the existing Adaptapac building. Very minor in nature, but it may end up being something that the city covers a little bit more than the overall cost of the 50/50. So as we have in here, it might end up being a little bit more like 60/40. But again, that's just a minor resurfacing piece. So this evening, we're asking for council's consideration to approve resolution 21097 for an intergovernmental agreement between the city of Lockport and Lockport Township Park District for a 50/50 cost-sharing agreement for the I&M Canal Trail improvements from 6th to 2nd Street, and we would be seeking consent if council concurs.
Well, let me ask a quick question. Are we coming back with the bid before the next council, so we'd be able to leave it as action and award that, or is this just a cost sharing, and then you're coming back to council when you get the bid?
This is strictly the cost sharing.
Okay.
So this is the IGA, and then next council meeting, we'll come back with an actual dollar amount, so council will have the opportunity to either say yay or nay for the project. Again, we're hoping for favorable bids. We have no reason to think we're not going to get bids that are within this price range.
All right, understood. We good with the consent then, since we get that answer? Okay. Thanks, Brent. What else you got?
All right, PW-2, Baxter and Woodman Consulting Engineer contract. This is for the wastewater treatment plant headworks. If council recalls, this is a project that we've discussed for a couple years now. Currently, during heavy rain events, we have backup in our system. We have water that gets in from storms, so we have downspouts, some pumps, just some natural infiltration into our existing collection system. In order to address some of that, we are looking to add a pump at the treatment plants. We're looking to upgrade some of the headworks facilities, which headworks, that's where all of the flow comes into the facility. We're looking to enhance that. There's some new bar screens, again, some new pumps. Basically, what this will do is this will allow us to draw down our existing collection system quicker, and that will prevent some of the backups that we see throughout the city. So again, another great project. This is the first step also to our potential improvements in the future, where we're actually going to expand the treatment plant. So this would be the first step. So this is not going to waste. This would line up perfectly with that future expansion at such time it's needed. So this evening we would be looking for consideration for Baxter and Woodman, who did not do the design. Strand Associates did the design. We are electing to go with another engineering firm just to get another set of eyes on it, and we feel like it would be a good opportunity to bring another group in just to confirm and ensure that the project goes smoothly. So this evening we would be looking for Baxter and Woodman Phase 3, which is the construction engineering, in the amount of $316,140. This is resolution number 21-099. We would be asking for council's consideration for consent. If there are any questions, I would take those at this time.
Would this increase the capacity overall of the Division Street? Or
Yes.
does it aid in the?
Technically, it increases the capacity, but it does not increase the treatment capacity. It increases the hydraulics, so it can take more water, but we can't treat any more water. So basically, we can hold a little bit more than what we would have in the past.
But
Okay,
it's, if I'm understanding right, it's part of what's needed to ultimately treat more. so-
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
great, thank you.
Yep.
All right, any other thoughts or questions? We good with this as presented? All right, then yeah, we'll do consent. Okay, that's everything. Anybody had any new business? I had one thing I want to just talk real quick. I know Samantha didn't come back with her parking concerns, but I did talk to the chief a little bit about a couple things that I told him, why don't we take care of? One of them is just a clear policy that there is a warning for the first time. So if people come in with their ticket, the front desk can enter it in, and if they've had no violations previously, they'll just say, look, it's it's a warning, it's clear policy now, and that then they'll be entered into the system. So if they return again, then we'll know that it's time for a violation. So we just made that clear. The front desk had no problem being able to enter that in that way. And then the other thing which was interesting was in 2019, we had made some changes, making on-street parking a little more flexible. Essentially, the way it was worded, it allowed a few more cars from a household to be able to take advantage of on-street parking. And I think it was in response to the last time Sam came here. But the crazy thing is, if you go to our website, it really doesn't spell it out. So I had asked Chief to say, look, when you go to the parking thing and you click on it, just be really clear about what's allowed. Just a paragraph of text is all it takes. Because right now, if you click on it, you just enter your name and request it, but you don't really know how many cars and how often you can do it. So he's just going to go to Frontline and make sure that those instructions are clear, so everybody knows exactly what it is that you're allowed to do. So.
Does it actually ask for how long a period they're asking for that parking permission?
Yes, good evening. Yeah, they can put in there the number of days. It allows them up to 2. So the way it was prior to January 2019 is they're allowed 5 approvals per month per address. And then change over January 2019, change over to allow 2 approvals per month per vehicle, not per address, which meant that if you had 4 cars, you went from 5 per address to 8. Because you got 2 per car, but you had to rotate the cars out. So it actually adds more flexibility, but it does allow for that. And when people need more time than that, really all they have to really do, and if it's a reasonable request, then we just put in the system a little bit of an extension, redoing the driveway being sealed, they reach out to us. But yes, but after they put the car in twice for a particular vehicle, it says that you've reached your maximum capacity of 2 for that vehicle.
But I think because they never understood that
That's correct.
you can now enter a different car, that's why it's been like, I only get 2 nights. So there'll be some instructions, so make it clear for folks. So just a couple things I think will be helpful.
I'm just wondering, is there any way on certain streets to actually allow street parking as long as those cars are registered with the police department, so that the police officer that's patrolling that evening, in the midnight, shift or whatever, they know that those cars belong to the residents? Are there any streets large enough to fit so that cars aren't damaged or, accidents happen?
Our current policy is that if there's not a sidewalk, you can park, because mainly they just go kind of up on the grass.
Okay.
But if there's solid curbs, then we ask them to get off the street, because it's clear where the plows have to go, and there is no place for them to get out of the way.
Okay.
So there are places where you can already, but not
Are they
fully curbed.
specified by any chance on the website?
It is specified that, I believe that we don't enforce it where there's no curbs.
So that's correct. That is our ordinance basically says it has to be a curbed roadway. So a finished curbed roadway is what we're addressing. If it's not curbed, then we won't. Then we don't issue the citation.
Okay.
It says for curbed roadways in the ordinance.
Because truthfully, I'm just in my subdivision, which is, a townhome complex. A lot of the residents are requesting to be able to park on the streets, and right now we have it that you cannot, unless it's just a temporary, and then you have to call the police department and get your permit. There's a lot of angry residents that really want some extended period of time to be able to, especially when kids are home for either the holiday or for the summer and there's an extra car. That car may not fit, in a driveway, especially in a townhome situation. So I'm just wondering, is there any way that we can accommodate without being a big Well, you know, as far problem. as holidays go, you do have, I think it's up to 7 days at a time, right? Something like that, or up to 2.
For
So-
holidays?
For holidays, if they're coming in for several days at a time, all you have to do is put the car in and, go to the website, put the car in. So they are, that is accommodated for right now, because I had high school and college students,
they're out, but I went through that, and yeah, when they were home, it was easy to, back then, we just called it in. I'm that old.
And I got to tell you, Joanne, when you look at the crime statistics that Chief shared, towns that don't have, an on-street parking ordinance, it is higher for the car burglaries. And especially where you live, you're closer to that highway, and that is the place we struggle.
Sure.
I know Chief shared a story with me with that one guy who got apprehended. We finally caught one of these guys who was opening the car doors. He's like, I knew I was going to get caught because there's like no cars out here. I'm like a sore thumb.
Right.
So I'm telling you, man, they'll be a lot more angry when their cars keep getting broken
No,
into.
I agree. I'm not looking to make things worse for the residents, because they're not gonna like it when their car gets broken into or stolen or whatever, so I get that. I was just kind of throwing out there if there's any way of just extending it maybe a little bit more, but I get it. It's hard. It's a hard thing for us to be able to open it up more than what it is, and
Well, I think the flexibility you did in 2019, I think we took a step to try to help with that, so I would recommend sticking with where we're at.
yeah.
But making it clear what the policy is, so. Sure.
Would it be beneficial to increase it to 3 instead of 2?
Well, you don't want to defeat the purpose, right? If you're just going to make it so that it's so flexible that there's always cars out there, you don't want to defeat the purpose of it. That's the rub. So we try to give some flexibility for kids are coming over for the holidays or there's an event. But if it's a matter of man, we got to try to figure out a way to make this work so the kids can be home all summer from college. It's like, now you just defeat the purpose of it. So I think the numbers that you guys have in there, I think allow for, a pretty good family event for the, for the week. I just recommend sticking with it.
Is there currently something that allows a younger resident to request more than 2 days if it is a student or if they are home for like a 4-day weekend? I thought it was a firm 2-day per vehicle request.
Yes, currently it is 2 days per vehicle. So, yes, if someone came home for the entire summer, we technically wouldn't allow it. They'd have to make accommodations, so.
But with the way we did it was, you just have to park Dad's car out for 2 days, and then Mom's car
Rotate
out
them
for
out.
2
Right, you
days,
have to-
and
you
then
have to
Billy's car
rotate.
out for 2 days. So you could still get, a full, 12 days ultimately. So you can get, it just won't be the same car.
I mean, we have the same issue at my subdivision, and you just leave it as it is and follow the ordinance.
Well, I just want to give you an update, so. All right,
Appreciate
thanks,
it.
crew. If there's nothing else, then we'll do a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Larry, seconded by Renee, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And we'll let Kathy do her thing.
Thank you.
If we can get a roll call then.
You got it. Saban. Present. Artelson.
Present?
Lobes.
Present.
Bergbauer.
Here.
Locally is absent. Schreiber.
Here.
Harris.
Here.
Kostecki.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. So we're looking to have a motion for a consent agenda.
Make the motion.
Larry. Seconded by Renee, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we have looking for approval for the committee of the whole meeting minutes from the 18th, regular city council meeting minutes from the 18th, our payroll period ending August 22nd, and the First Amendment to the purchase and redevelopment agreement approval for the HG Properties, which is that 3-story building down there on State Street. So, looking for a motion to approve.
Second.
Yes, Renee and Larry, have a roll call, please.
You got it. Saban.
Yes.
Artelson.
Yes?
Lobes.
Yes.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
DeLogley is absent. Schreiber.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Kostecki.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, we got a public hearing. It's on. Okay, let me get my paper out. So we're going to do a public hearing for that annexation of that property that's owned by the diocese, so. All right, I'm going to get this rolling. As required by state law governing annexations, the City Council of the City of Lockport will hold a public hearing to consider the annexation of approximately 8.4 acres of land owned by the Catholic Diocese of Joliet, located at the southeast corner of 167th Street and Cedar Ridge Drive in unincorporated Will County. Do a motion to open the public hearing. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Mark?
Second.
Oh, Renee's faster than you, man. All in favor of that?
Aye.
All right, good. So Sonny's going to briefly outline the proposed annexation.
Yes, Mayor, members of the City Council, as I indicated at the last City Council meeting, this is the 8.4 acre property owned by Catholic Diocese that is being annexed in. Ordinance 21-022 will annex that property into the City of Lockport, zone it to A1 agriculture use, which is currently the zoning in unincorporated Will County. The property would also have what is called a legal nonconforming use because the parcel is less than 10 acre required for agriculture use for the City of Lockport, and so that will be the legal nonconforming use. The property will be in Ward 4, and there is no annexation agreement since there's no development at this time, and it's going to be used as for the agriculture purpose that is currently being used. And the publication for this public hearing was done on August 12th, which is sufficient for state statute because it was done at least 14 days prior to this hearing. And if there's any other questions, I would recommend the approval of ordinance 21-022.
All right, any questions? Nobody here to ask questions, so I guess we're good. So look for a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion.
Larry? Second. Seconded by Joanne. All right, so now we're looking for a motion to approve ordinance 21022, which is annexing the diocese property.
Motion.
Good.
Second.
Okay, Larry and Karen. And need a roll call.
I'm sorry, you asking for a roll? Sorry.
Yes, please. Please and thank you.
All right, thank you. Saban.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
Loebs.
Yes.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Galogly is absent. Schreiber.
Yes.
Karas.
Yes.
Kostecki.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Now, all right, next thing I'm going to do here is get a proclamation. I'm not a big fan of these, but they just gave us a bunch of money, so. All right, proclamation for National Rail Safety Week. Whereas 1,889 rail grade crossing collisions resulted in 678 personal injuries and were responsible for 2,001 fatalities in the United States during 2020. And whereas the City of Lockport has 11 at-grade RR crossings, both in CN and BNSF, which service over 85 trains a day, and the city has partnered with rail industry and agencies like FRA, ICC, IDOT, Metra, Amtrak, CN, and BNSF to make safety improvements on the lines. And whereas educating and informing the public about rail safety, reminding the public that railroad right-of-ways are private property, enhancing public awareness of the dangers associated with highway rail grade crossings, ensuring pedestrians and motorists are looking and listening while near railways, and obeying established traffic laws will reduce the number of fatalities and injuries. Therefore, I, Mayor Steve Streit, and the Lockport City Council do hereby attest full supporting proclamation September 20th to the 26th, 2021 of National Rail Safety Week in the City of Lockport, and I encourage all citizens to recognize the importance of rail safety education. So, we all good with passing this?
Yes.
All right, no objections? Right on. Passed today.
If I could get a motion in a second.
Motion.
All right, we got Mark and Renee. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you. There's signs out there. I don't know if you noticed, they put some imprints in the concrete by some of the crossings about look, listen, stay alive. There's been some neat things they've done with this too, so. And they gave us some money.
All right, very good. Next thing we're looking to do is a motion to pass our bills through August 24th.
Make a motion.
Larry and Joanne. Any questions? Good. Can I do a roll call then?
You got it. Saban.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
Loebs.
Yes.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Galogly is absent. Schreiber.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Kostecki.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next is we have, looking for a motion to pass Resolution 21091, which is our license agreement with Tangled Roots for Oktoberfest.
I'll make the motion.
All right, you got Karen, seconded by Renee. Any questions on this one?
We have made the changes to the agreement that everyone talked about. Sonny conferred with their attorney, and they agreed, and we added the language about the cleanup deposit and things, so I think we're comfortable where things are.
Yeah, there's no deposit, but if the city does have to clean up the site.
right.
And
pay.
it's not at the original condition, then we can hold up the liquor license for Lock and Mule, because obviously the liquor license is tied to this operation.
So there's a hook for them to clean up.
Yeah. I wasn't too concerned about it, they're good neighbors, but it's boilerplate language now, so I think it's safe for us in the future for other
With the haunted
contracts.
house right after, I think it was worth it, so.
Okay, so if we're all good, we'll do a roll call, please.
You got it. Saban.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
Logue.
Yes.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Galogly is absent. Sorry. Schreiber.
Yes.
Karas.
Yes.
And Kostecki.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next is PZ1. We're looking for a motion to approve Phase 2 of Silo Bend. This is case number 2021-006, Resolution 21089.
Make a motion.
All right, Larry.
Second.
Larry's filled with motions tonight.
Yes.
We got Mr. Karas. All right, any questions, concerns about where we're at with this?
Nope.
Okay, if we're all good, then we'll do a roll call, please.
You got it. Saban.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
Logue.
Abstain.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Galogly is absent. Schreiber.
Yes.
Karas.
Yes.
Kostecki.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, next we're looking for a motion to pass the award Road Safe Traffic Systems, which is Resolution 21095. It's in the amount of $74,922.04. All right, we got Renee.
Second.
Seconded by Karen. Any questions, concerns, thoughts? Okay, we can do a roll call, please.
You got it. Saban.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
Logue.
Yes.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Galogly is absent. Schreiber.
Yes.
Karas.
Yes.
Kostecki.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, and last, we're looking for a motion to approve Resolution 21096. This is the Division Street wastewater treatment plant Phase 1 improvements. It's one of those big budgeted items, but important, $2,840,000. We're looking for a motion to approve.
Motion.
So moved.
Oh, did I intimidate you because I said you were filled with it? All right. So,
Wait a second.
I'll give somebody else a chance. All right. All right, so it looked like Larry and Mark. And any questions on this?
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's, but this is good stuff. This is needed, and appreciate our engineering department's continued eyeball of these things, so. All right, we'll do a roll call then.
You got it. Saban.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
Logue.
Yes.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Galogly's absent. Schreiber.
Yes.
Karas.
Yes.
Kostecki.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, then I think it takes care of everything. Then look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay. So yeah, I think we had Larry and Renee. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, good. Thank you, everyone.